Welcome to the Military Defense TV. Ukrainian troops have won a major victory against Russia, taking control of the western Kherson region, including Kherson city. The latest Ukrainian advance came after months of successful attacks on Russian positions on the west side of the Dnipro River, aimed at disrupting Russian supply lines. Ukrainian targets included bridges across the river, as well as the roads, pontoons, barges and landing areas. Ukraine's success in Kherson resulted in large part from the Ukrainian Armed Forces, UAF's, innovative use of the US-provided HIMARS precision rocket system, according to Institute for the Study of War, ISW. Multiple precision strikes using HIMARS made Russian positions on the west side of the river impossible to resupply. Also in the south, Russia has continued air, missile and artillery strikes in recent days, with targets including Zaporizhzhia city. Ukraine says it has also struck Russian positions in Zaporizhzhia region. Russian forces are forcibly mobilizing men in Melitopol and Zaporizhzhia, and forcing them to construct trenches and other defenses, according to the ISW. Intense fighting in the east. Russian forces are continuing to conduct ground attacks near Bakhmut and Siversk. Ukraine says it has successfully held off the latest assaults, with intense fighting concentrated on the road network. Ukrainian troops took control of the key logistical hub of Lyman in Donetsk at the beginning of October. Russian forces operating in the east are believed to include regular Russian troops, mobilized servicemen, Wagner private contractors, Chechen units and personnel from the so-called Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics. The current Russian push towards Bakhmut followed a major defeat in the east in September when Russian units were forced back in the Kharkiv region. Russian troops withdrew from the key towns of Izium and Kupiansk, saying that the retreat would allow its troops to regroup. Both towns were major logistical hubs for Russian forces in Donbas. Ukraine's power grid under fire earlier in October, Russia appeared to shift tactics, targeting Ukrainian cities further from the front line, with missile strikes for the first time in months. Russian forces used Shahed-136 drones recently purchased from Iran in the attacks, as well as ballistic and cruise missiles. Attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure by Russian forces have triggered blackouts in major cities, including Kyiv, Lviv, Zaporizhzhia and Kharkiv. 4 regions of Ukraine, Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia were annexed by the Russian Federation in September. Russia does not fully control any of the 4 regions. President Vladimir Putin has said that Russia will use all the forces and resources it has to liberate the 4 regions. In an address to the Russian people, Mr. Putin said his country had various weapons of destruction, adding, "I'm not bluffing." Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February, but Ukrainian forces retook large areas around Kyiv in early April after Russia abandoned its push towards the capital. Areas in the west of the country, including Lviv, have seen missile attacks but no attempt by Russian forces to take and occupy ground. The Russians have suffered heavy losses since the invasion began, and significant quantities of Russian weaponry have also been destroyed or captured.